On February 24th, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced what he called a special military operation in Ukraine.
We will strive to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine and will bring to justice those who committed multiple bloody crimes against civilians, including Russian citizens.
Explosions echoed across Kiev. Russian tanks and armoured vehicles began crossing the border. A sovereign European nation had been invaded, triggering the continent's worst conflict since 1945.
The Russian military has begun a brutal assault on the people of Ukraine. Without provocation, without justification, without necessity, this is a premeditated attack.
A 64-kilometre Russian armoured column approached Kiev from the north, but tactical mistakes saw the Russian advance on Kiev stall as Ukraine's armed forces put up fierce resistance. By April, Russian forces were in retreat from the capital. They left behind scenes of horror. In towns like Bucha, advancing Ukrainian forces uncovered mass civilian graves. Russia claims the evidence was fabricated.
These are war crimes, and they will be recognized by the world as genocide.
The atrocities prompted NATO and Western countries to beef up their deployments in Eastern Europe and increase weapon supplies to Ukraine. The United States has so far pledged $53 billion in military, economic and humanitarian aid.
We agreed that we must further strengthen and sustain our support to Ukraine so that Ukraine prevails in the face of Russia's invasion.
Finland and Sweden, which for decades had remained neutral, applied to join NATO in the face of Russia's aggression. The war prompted a huge exodus of Ukrainian refugees, with some 6 million fleeing to neighbouring countries so far, and a further 8 million internally displaced within Ukraine.
The shelling of civilian areas and driving out large amounts of civilian populations may well be part of the Russian plan because that serves them well.
Western sanctions tightened the economic noose on Russia, causing its currency to plummet. Facing mounting military losses, Russia redirected its forces to the eastern Donbas region. The strategic port of Mariupol was all but destroyed. Tens of thousands of civilians were killed. Fighting continues to rage in the east. The US is to begin sending long-range artillery to Ukraine, something Kiev has long demanded.
If you combine Ukrainian bravery and skill and a willingness to defend their homes against this unprovoked invasion with Western support, which frankly we're going to have to be able to provide for the long haul, then I think over the long run, this will be a grand strategic disaster for Putin. But in the short term, let's be clear, the picture is mixed.
The conflict, 100 days old, has already upended European security. Peace talks hosted by Turkey are stalled. All sides are preparing for a long war. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.